In today's video, we are going to talk about wealth. Your first 1 million. How would you make your first 1 million? We are assuming that you're young. You are just getting out of college, maybe 22, 23, just graduated from college. You have just entered the workforce. We are saying now, in order for you to make your first 1 million, we are advising you that start saving early. The earlier you start saving, the more you will benefit from compound. Like your money will be compounded over. Save at least 15% of income and automate your saving. Just let it come out of your bank account. Let your savings of 15% of your income just automatically come out of your bank account. Invest wisely. Income index fund or ETF, and invest about 20% of your income. These are low cost investment portfolios. And also create additional income streams. You have to come up with the side hustles. Assuming that you graduate from university, you have a degree in business. Now you go on to be an investment banker in a bank. You are making 100,000. You can create some other side small business so that you supplement your income. I remember when I was taking one of the business courses, one of my business professor was talking to students. Myself, I'd gone back to school. Like, as we all know that this, as I talked in the other video on immigration, here in Canada, there is always this problem of foreign credentials don't get recognized. I came in as already a mature individual, but when these foreign credentials were not being recognized, I went back to school. This professor was targeting his message to these young students that he gave an example of his dad who worked until age 78, never retired, only to stop working when he had been diagnosed with some form of cancer, and then lived only 2 years. Now he was advising this young student. I was also listening because I was not part of that demographic, or I was that class. This professor was saying, you guys, as soon as you graduate, start saving early. Save aggressively. Say you graduated 22. Save aggressively for 10 years. From 22 to 32 or 22 to 35, and thereafter you have your money, you can now start traveling around the world. I am saying that as soon as you graduate, you get your first, start saving. You save 15% of your income, 20% of your income you invest in, and also create side hustles to supplement income. And manage your expenses. Create a budget to track the expenses and identify areas which you could cut back. You don't need this. Partying every night, eating out excessively. What I talked in the other video, eating out excessively. Not to say don't eat out, but eating out excessively. Or buying expensive things, buying jewelry, buying fancy cars, buying the first 10 years, as my former business professor was telling these young students who were in my class that, hey, the first 10 years, save every penny. As you're starting your career, your income also be growing. I think they say people, they make their peak of their income from age 35 to 49. This is a trend around the Western world. But as from 22 to 35, your income is still low. You are still growing your income. However, at this point, you are saving aggressively, assuming that you are still single. No family responsibility, nothing tying you down, and don't travel excessively, don't eat out excessively, don't buy fancy things. Save 15% of your income and invest your income. Okay, 20% of your income, this one goes to investments. You invest 20%. As your income starts to grow between these ages, as I said, there is a trend in the Western world that your income picks up between this age bracket, 35 to 49. And afterwards, it starts like the income, say the income starts here, right? This is 35 to 49. You are at the peak of your income. You are at the peak of your income between this age. Now, as your income increases avoid lifestyle inflation. As people start making more money, they start changing their lifestyle. They start going for expensive things, moving in an expensive house, buying expensive cars, buying expensive clothes. Avoid, put every penny again into savings, and also into those extra pennies now into savings and also into investment. And also eliminate high interest debt. Do not carry balance on credit card. I talked about this. If you look at a credit card and if you are carrying a balance on a credit, let's say hypothetically maybe 5,000 balance, you might end up paying like $150 in interest. You can take that $150 and buy the stock of company XYZ. We have bank stocks here which you can buy for $80. Let's say if you are paying $160 in interest, you could use this money to buy 2 stocks of a bank that pays dividend every month. Avoid credit card balance. Also, educate yourself. Learn about personal finance. And we also ask that you max out your RRSP here in Canada. Put every penny into RRSP. Avoid self-defeating mindset. Do not think that anyone owes you a living. Nobody owes you a living. It is not your dad. It is not the government. The government doesn't solve your problem. You owe yourself a living. No one owes you. Do not expect something for nothing. That's a dangerous preposition. Everything in life is worked for. Do not take consumer debt like cash advances on credit card. Payday loans. Ooh, that's dangerous. That's brutal. You don't need that. Don't get distracted. If getting rich is your goal, persist through obstacles. There are going to be obstacles. Persist throughout. Nothing comes easy. If it was easy, everybody would be becoming rich. And getting rich will not be a virtue anymore because everybody will be doing it. There are going to be challenges. There are going to be obstacles. There are going to be impediments. As they say in Stoic philosophy, what stands on the way becomes the way. What stands on the way becomes the way. Step over your obstacle. In your quest to become rich, in your quest to make your first 1 million, learn the skills. Do not avoid education. Learn the skills in your field to excel in your pursuit. And also, we advise that don't keep up with the Jones. If your neighbor buys a car, if your friend buys a brand new car, don't just buy a brand new car because he has a brand new car. You might not necessarily need a brand new car. Maybe your friend needs a brand new car, needs a brand new pickup because he or she drives across the city to go to his or her job. But maybe you have a short commute. Maybe you go to Park and Ride and take a train or take a bus. You look at your situation uniquely and assess whether you need that. Every personal situation is unique. Do not keep up with the Jones. And also, we advise that in your quest to become rich, do not forget that always there will be this risk. What you give comes back. What I give comes back 1,000-fold. There is this saying. So also, we are saying that in your quest to become rich, do not be stingy. You have to give others a little bit, right? And we are also not advising you to be a minimalist. Live comfortably but reasonably within a reasonable framework of comfort. That comfort has to be reasonable. Financial success starts with a money mindset. For you to be financially successful, it starts up in your mind. Everything starts with your mind. The devices we are using, everything we are using today started in somebody's mind. Avoid limiting beliefs and build a positive relationship with money. Do not say, hey, money is evil. Money is just papers, pieces of metals, which is only acceptable as a legal tender of a given country. Each country prints its own money, which becomes the legal tender, which you can go to the grocery store and purchase, buy whatever you need. You are paid in money, whether it's electronic or hard cash. This is how you are paid. There is nothing evil with money, just pieces of paper and pieces of silver. And choose the right path which you need to create income sources. You also have to identify side hustles to create income source. You have to identify the right path and the need to create income sources. You have to identify those side hustles. And also create a strategic plan. Plan financial roadmap. What we mean is, as you are saving, you are saying, I want to make my 1 million. Have a time frame when you want to make it. You are saving, say, a certain percentage of your income becomes, say, 15% of your income, becomes, say, hypothetically, let me just say 150, and maybe every 2 weeks, you multiply this by 2, becomes like 300, and you multiply this by 12, say, and that's what the road. How long is it going to take me to make this 1 million in my bank using these figures? That's the roadmap we are going to say. I also advise you you need to master money management. Need to be financially savvy. Budget, not buying access, unnecessary things, not eating out excessively. In this city where I am, where I'm recording this video from, dining out, a couple, like they say, yourself and your partner, you are looking at about 60 to 70 Canadian dollars to eat out one night. Now, if you multiply this, say, if assuming that you are doing it 3 times, that comes to 180. As I said, you could take this money and put it in a bank stock and buy $60 of some bank stock, 3 stocks. You could cut this to 1 time a week, and the other amount, put it in some bank stock instead of just spending lots of money eating out. That's what we are saying here. Avoid eating out excessively. And also, we talked about giving. Yes, it's good to give others less fortunate, and also donations. Donate to a charity or to a political party, but you have to manage those donations. Don't donate excessively. There is a woman in the United States. She won the lottery. She won $10 million. Now, she was giving excessively. She started donating it to political causes. And in 3 years, she was out of money. She was broke. She was giving to an extent that she was recognized by then the president of that left-wing party in the United States, that she was even given a special city, a special sitting area at a political event because of her excessive donations. But this didn't have good ending. She was broke. Right now, she's poor. You have to manage your donations. You have to not give excessively. There is a saying that if you are a giver, you must set your limits, because takers do not have. If you stretch your hand with $1 million, people will take it. Also have a woman here in Ontario, Canada. She won the lottery as well, and it's was 11 million Canadian. 11 million Canadian. This woman, they say she bought a $70,000 car and paid off her mortgage, and she was being called by this charity organization, and in one call which was monitored by one of the TV stations here, this charity calls her, and then this woman answers the phone, says, we are charity, we are asking for donations. Says, yeah, so where do I send the check? That was only the next question. And then she was given the address, says, and she was asked, how much are you giving us, ma'am? And she says, oh, 50,000. She actually claims to be, I've always been a giving person. I've always wanted to help others, and blah, blah, blah. This is what happened. That story again didn't end up well. This woman worked at a coffee shop prior to winning the lottery, and she quit a job after she had won the 11 million. She gave out her money. In 3 years, she went back again to be working at a coffee shop. These are the stories of people who have given out excessively. We all want to help other people, but we don't have to give excessively. Have the limits. If you're a giver, have limits, because takers do not have. Because if you are giving, assuming that you take $1 billion and even start giving every man and woman on earth just $10, $1 billion doesn't go far. It will be done in a few months. You can do the calculation. Just $10. So you have to set the limits. You can have even a budget of giving. You can say, this is how much I earn, and at least I want to help those who are less fortunate. In this case, this woman would have invested this money, and whatever I earn from the investments, I will give a certain percentage to charitable organizations and leave this 11 million intact, untouched, in investments in banks with a lot of dividend stocks on the Canadian stock market. She could have lived on dividends from stocks and help others. She claimed that she has always been a person who wants to help, and she all gave her money and went back to working at a coffee shop. But bottom line, building wealth to reach your first million is not easy. It is not easy. It takes discipline, setting goals. Success requires more than setting goals. You need to be rooted in also, why do I need to achieve this? Whether it's your financial security, it's freedom, or it's leaving a legacy. Having a clear purpose will keep you motivated and committed to taking the necessary steps to turn your vision into reality. Thank you for watching this video. Can you hit the subscription button, please? Am I asking too much? Smash it, crush it, whatever it is, cost you zero, does not cost you any money. But donating to a charity is taking away from your income. Thank you for watching.